What you're asked first and foremost is you're asked to draw the line 3x minus 2y plus 12 equals 0. We can do this two ways. The first way we can do this is pick a letter to sub in. So you can choose whether to replace x with a letter or y with a letter. Now remember, if it's on the line, it satisfies the equation. So here's how you can get 2 points. Two easy points would be x equals 0, y equals 0. Then, once you know that x equals 0, it's going to be 0 and something in here that we don't know. The other point will be something 0. So we need to fill out what is the y value when x equals 0 and what is the x value when y equals 0. So what we're going to do is we always use the equation of the line. Okay? So the equation of the line formula. And what the equation of the line formula is, it's going to be 3 times 0 because we decided that x is 0, didn't we? Minus 2 times y plus 12 equals 0. Can anybody in class tell me what 3 times 0 is? 0. So we're going to be left with 2y equals 12, or minus. So we're going to move the 12 over the other side, and what we get is the 12 moves over the other side, and we get minus 2y equals minus 12. And what's y equal to?
Y equals minus 12 divided by minus 2.
Minus 12 divided by minus 2. Y equals 6. 0, 6. Okay? Now, the second way of doing it is we replace y with 0. So this time we're replacing y with 0. So what happens this time around? 3x minus 2 times 0, yeah?
Plus 12.
Plus 12 equals 0. 3x equals 12. X equals which is minus 4. We have our 2 points, 0, 6 and minus 4, 0. Now, if you were to draw this on the xy axis, like so, and I'm not going to write down all the numbers, okay, it'll just take too long. So, minus 4, 0 is located here, and 0, 6 is located here, and all of a sudden you have your line drawn quite easily. Okay, so there's your line drawn. Everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Now, the way I would have shown you in class was, do you know the way we're very used to getting y on its own all the time? So what I showed you guys was, why don't we just keep getting y on its own? So you can do either way, whichever way you remember. What I do sometimes is I get y on its own, so I'm going to get 3x plus 12 equals 2y. You happy with that?
Yeah.
2y therefore equals 3x plus 12. Do you understand what I did there?
Yeah.
Just roll the opposite way around. Then I'm going to divide by 2 to get y on its own. Now this is what you guys have been doing all weekend, like you've been, or all last night you were getting y on its own. Now the minute I get y on its own, all I have to do then is, I go over to the calculator, mode, table. F of x is another way of saying what letter? Y. Then I'll just say 3 over 2. And I'll say x. And then I'll say plus 6. And then I'm going to start at about minus 6. End at plus 6. Go up with 1s. Now let's see are the 2 points we calculated in this list. So minus 4, 0. Do you see it there?
Yeah.
So that could have been our first point. And then go down again. Let's say we chose another point like minus 2, 3. Is minus 2, 3 there? There it is there. So we could have just linked the two of them together and kept on going. And then check down again. Is the next one there? 0, 6? Yeah. So it's already ready done for you. Did you get that? Now, so that's how you draw.
Sorry for class intrusion, but the study skills for the 6th years will take place in this.
Quick note to you, okay? This part here, this point here is known as the x-axis intercept. Is everybody happy with that? Yeah. Where the line hits the x-axis. The second point here is known as the y-axis intercept, where it hits the y-axis. So, What you're going to be looking at here, guys, is if we were to do question 7, it's on video, you'll be doing it again anyway. Okay, so guys, if you were to do question 17, okay, question 17, because y is already on its own, do you understand? It's already on its own. The calculator method would be really, really quick because y is already on its own. However, if you didn't want to use the calculator trick, what you could do once again is you could say, okay, let x equals 0 and then let y equals 0. If x equals 0, what happens?
It becomes
Y equals minus 2 times 0 plus
5. Y equals 5.
Y equals 5. That's the point 0, 5. And if y equals 0, bring it over to 2.
2x equals 5.
And then x equals 2.5 or 5 over 2. To draw this out, what you do is 0, 5 is located 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 2.5, 0. About there, right? Halfway between 2 and 3. Draw your line. Now, that's it done there. Okay, very handy. Second way of doing it would be obviously just going to your calculator and going y equals, what is it this time? Yeah?
Yeah, in the test like 2.5, just guess like for half.
Yeah. Or you could go up 2 blocks for every one, and then like 1 block would be a half then. So minus 2x plus what's it, 5? Do the same trick again, and look what happens this time around. We have 0, 5 is 1 point. Now we're gonna miss 2.5, so but we'll have to pick another point. Let's pick 3 minus 1. And look what happens then. So we pick 3 minus 1, it's here. So instead of linking the 2 green spots together, we're gonna link the 2 red spots together, and we're gonna get exactly the same line. Results in the same line. And then you can say, if you ask for the x-axis intercept, you can just go add 2.5. But if your drawing's accurate.
If you're doing the x equals 0, y equals 0, do you have to get 1 on its own first?
No. Not at all.
So
No.
so you know we're 11 there.
Yeah, we did 11. We didn't have to get y on its own at all. The only time you have to get y on its own is when you're using the calculator. Otherwise, you can just replace in x equals 0 and then figure out what y is. Replace y equals 0, figure out what x is. Okay? Yeah?
How come 2.5 doesn't work on the calculator?
Sean. Sean asked me a good question. He goes, how come I wasn't able to get 2.5 on my calculator? Do you know the step function? The step function determines what's the gap between my numbers. So if I go back to the start, Sean, and I say, I want to step at 0.5, all of a sudden, just all these 0.5s are here now. Do you see them all?
Yeah.
And now I can go up to 2.5 and realise that's 0 if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't know to do that until after that happened. So it still didn't stop me from drawing the line. Now, the next one is where I think it gets a bit more difficult for those of you who use the x0, y0 part, and I'll show you now. So you could be given another line. Now it's rare this could happen, but you could be given something like this. Okay. I don't like when that happens. Now, cut and then paste it on top. Now it's on top. Shh, lads. In a question like this, we have a fraction, right? Everybody has seen the fraction there?
Yeah.
Now, once again, the calculator method would be really easy right now because we can just put it directly into the calculator. But if you're sticking to your guns, you write down x equals 0. And if x equals 0, what happens? X equals 0?
Minus 4 over 3 becomes 0.
So, y will therefore be equal to 3. 0, 3. And then you say, okay, that one's done. Now you go y equals 0. And you get 0 equals minus 4 over 3 x plus 3. Now, what's preventing you from doing the question? The fraction. Any way you're getting rid of the fraction? Then what happens? Cancel. So 0 equals minus 4x plus 9. Bring the 4x over the other side.
4x equals 9.
And then x equals 9 over 4, which is 2.25. Now 2.25 in my opinion is quite hard to draw. So what you're looking at here is you're looking at another xy axis, and you're going, okay, here's my xy axis here, and I have to draw 2 1/4. I reckon 2 1/4 is around here, and then the other one is 0, 3. Now that's my 2 green points I would use if I use the x equals 0, y equals 0 methods. I, on the other hand, will have a backup plan. My backup plan will involve me doing this here. So what's it, minus 4 over 3 x, and then what's it, plus 3. Okay, that's alright. Now start, end, sorry, I wanted to read the step again. Step 1 this time. You guys look at this. Minus 6, 11. Just pick the nice ones. 0, 3 is a nice one, isn't it? Pick another nice one. 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1. Locate it there. Then all you have to do, just link them together. And you can actually see I was actually pretty accurate with that quarter that time. But it's easier to draw the second way than the first way. Sean?
So the way you usually do is use the x0, y0 method to find 1 point that you like.
2 points. You find 2 points. I found 2 points.
But if you don't like one, you can just put it in the calculator and find.
Or put in the calculator from the start, and you get 2 points anyway. So Sean, the calculator has every point there is on it. I just have to pick any 2 points. I could pick minus 3, 7, which is minus 3 up, 7 here, and it's the same thing. Okay? Now guys, the last one. Now this is the one that they can trick you on, okay? And they've gone to this a couple of times. What they'll ask you to do is, they want to draw 3x minus 4y equals 0. That's what they'll want you to do. In a case like this, you're once again going to go for x equals 0 and y equals 0. Now the problem is, here's what's going to happen. 3 times 0 minus 4y equals 0. 3 times 0?
0.
Minus 4y equals 0. Y equals 0. So oddly enough, when x is 0, y is also 0. And if I use y equals 0, I'm just going to get x equals 0. So I'm left 1 point short. Now the way to get the other point is, pick a number. Pick any number you want. I usually if I'm picking one for y, I usually pick the one that comes in front of x. If I'm picking for x, I pick the one that comes in front of y. So I'm going to say y equals 3 this time. So it's going to be something 3.
So this is minus 4 equals 0. Let's go y equals 4.
And no, it'd be 0 divided by minus 4, which is still 0. Okay, now lads, replace y with 3. We get 3x minus 4 times 3 equals 0. 3x minus 12 equals 0. 3x equals 12. X equals 4. 4, 3. Now guys, that's a lot of thinking. Well, if we did it, what I think we might do, bring the 4y over, we get 3x equals 4y. Get y on its own. What's y on its own? 3 over 4 x. Everybody see that? Then all you have to do is go to the calculator. Y equals 3 over 4x. And this time, once again, just delete everything here, or the x, and look what happens. You're going to get 2 points. You get your 0, 0, and you get your 4, 3, and then you can draw it out. Is everybody happy with that? Alright lads, so